Our guest this week gets fits off daily. After a decade in the biz, the Central St. Martin's grad put up Hall of Fame numbers in 2025, raking in awards, dropping huge collabs, and was included in the Met Museum Costume Institute's Superfine Tailoring Black Style exhibition. His first big accomplishment of 2026, coming on a podcast. So he's off to a slow start. Kindly taking a moment from showing his Fall/Winter 2026 Rebel Riot collection to the best buyers in the world and stepping into the stew after hopping across the pond to talk Met Gala red carpets, being big in Japan, and CSM student debt, founder and designer of his eponymous brand, Nicholas Daley. Nicholas, how the hell are you?
I've never had an introduction as good as that. Man.
Wow.
That was incredible.
We're so happy you're here.
And I'm happy this is kickstarting 2026.
Yeah. So we're setting the bar as low as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Subterranean, dog.
You got to
Yeah,
manage
man.
expectation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's only up from here. Nicholas, it's so great to have you.
So
Super
thanks for having me
psyched
on,
to make this happen. Real quick, before we dive in, let's do a little fit check. What did you wear today to podcast with us?
Well, today
You got a lot of clothes on.
I've got a hell of a lot of layers on. Keeping me warm. Two great designers, Evan Kanori and Lars and Ida from Mantle.
That's the coat that
That's the
unfortunately is
coat.
not in the fit check,
No.
but it is incredible.
Yes.
Amazing. And again, it's good to support independent brands and friends who have also been doing their designs and creations just as long as I have.
Do they give you a homie discount?
We're always supporting them. Whenever I'm in San
Wink,
Fran, I see Evan and obviously Scene. And Paris is obviously always a great time.
Yeah.
Because it's
Look-
the point where we can all see each other.
Absolutely.
If you put in a personal order, that's just helping them hit their MOQs,
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
If you
True
hadn't
that.
made a personal order for that jacket, maybe that wouldn't have gone into production.
True
who
that.
knows?
True that.
I mean, I don't think Evan and Mantle have that problem,
Right.
but
you know.
yo,
Exactly.
thank you for your service. 'cause
Yeah,
you never
no,
know.
100%. And yeah, so they've been keeping me warm. I've got my own field shirt we did for this fall, which is currently on our site. and
This
with
is
our
available
stockings.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
so
is
banger.
fantastic.
This is our Madras check.
May I
yeah,
touch you?
Yeah, no. It
Gotta
has
ask for consent.
a really nice wash and finish, and there's my
It's got some grip.
got some grip exactly, and
Tactile.
and it's a piece which it explores a lot of the context of Madras fabric in the Caribbean, in South Asia, in the UK, and then this was like my response to it in a nice like our classic field shirt.
What's the general vibe of Madras? Is it rooted in like colonialism and like British enslavement
Basically,
and shit?
yeah.
Okay.
Shout out India.
How the fabric was
Shout out the Brits for
essentially, yeah. And it was
No,
kind
being
of
terrible.
something which I feel my brand and what I do through fabric, through storytelling, how things are literally woven together through history and time. How can I reflect that
Wow.
into my own collection? So, and we also did a Madras fabric for our Clark's originals, like for the lacing, which also, and even on the box and everything. So, and there's a long history of Madras. There's like a Madras check called bandana check in Jamaica, which is like traditional fabric you'd see worn on traditional days, and across all the Caribbean, like in Guadeloupe and Martinique. So again, it's just me trying to literally like weave it together, like how I bring history and
Literally and figuratively.
and fashion, and still make it feel fresh and interesting for people who want to wear it. So yeah.
can I ask a question? Clark's you prefer?
Clark's with the leather.
Banger.
Yeah, no, vibes cartel, and not just him as a songwriter, but
It's free.
the
Yeah.
impact of Jamaican culture on stylistically on Clark's originals on so many different styles is something which obviously I constantly respond on because it is part of me. It's part of my DNA. So obviously I've been a long awaited collaboration with Clark's originals, and it was amazing that it came out last year, and we had a launch event in Tokyo with shout out to Chris Gibbs for allowing us to work with his Union Tokyo team. So Chris was there
great
as well, which was cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. And we had Daichi Yamamoto, a Japanese Jamaican artist who lives in Tokyo. He did a whole performance. So it was a nice way to tie it all
He's
in.
half Japanese, half Jamaican.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daichi Yamamoto. So
Sick.
and his dad owns one of the oldest reggae bars in Japan. It's called Rubber Dub in Kyoto.
Fire.
That's
Yeah, man. So
amazing.
shout out to Daichi and anyone who's in Kyoto.
You ever been to
Check out Rubber Dub.
the Tokyo Record Bar in Kingston? I think it's called Tokyo Bar.
I haven't been to it, man.
The
but-
sound system is like the size of this
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah, man.
As it should be.
It'll blow your madras off. It's
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
basically.
It'll
yeah.
blow your wallabies off, dude.
exactly,
Right off your
yeah.
feet.
But no, great way. And I think they're, in terms of like collaborations, like, yeah, that was a real good one because it touched on so many different points.
Yo, have you ever had any Japanese Jamaican fusion food? Does that exist?
Yeah, I've had some real good jerk and some rice and peas in Jamaica. I think in Osaka.
But like some jerk yakitori. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that would be
Oxtail
interesting.
curry.
Maybe there's stuff out there which I'm not aware of yet, but I'd love to try it.
let's make it happen.
I know. Let me know.
What about this denim set? Or
so-
is it denim?
yeah.
What? I can't even tell what's going on here.
It's a core denim mixture, which I did with Carhartt Work in Progress, which was the other collaboration, which landed almost simultaneously with the Clark's original collab in October.
Yeah, you had a big back half of 2025.
Yeah, no.
Backloaded.
And when I said to the Carhartt team, it'd be amazing to do this world tour to launch the collab. Normally I say these things in meetings and I try and see where it lands.
Sure. Yeah.
But the whole Carhartt Whip team were really interested and wanted to make that happen. So yeah, we did Tokyo, we did Paris, we did London, and we did New York. So that was a mad period of time, but it was so incredible to see so many people come out and support it. And we had different musicians and DJs and artists playing at every event, different sound system crews.
Right?
Yeah, we had it at the Williamsburg store. We had a whole takeover in Harajuku. We had Mighty Crown, one of the OG Jamaican, Japanese sound system crews, Sammy P. Man, it was London. We had the Mighty Ruler sound system, one of the oldest sound systems still running in London. So yeah, it was the perfect way to launch the collaboration, which obviously honored a lot of the things which I've constantly explore through my work. And then doing the OG double knee, the OG jaw jacket, but then doing the crown, which was the first thing to sell out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Even Carhartt Whip were like,
All right. They were surprised.
Yeah, but I feel like this is the perfect union.
It's a nice little told you so moment.
Yeah.
And it's also, you fill in the gaps as a designer, as a creative. What do I bring or what I haven't seen? You know, Carhartt Whip have a great collection of hats and styles, but they've never done a crown. So I knew this was the first thing I knew was wanted to make this. And I think that's the reason why it resonates so well.
We ran into we were in Australia in October. We ran into some homies from Carhartt Whip. I'm blanking on their names. I think their names like, I don't know, but they're involved in the music side of things.
Yeah.
And they were very stoked.
Oh, yeah.
On the Nicholas Daley
nice.
collaboration. And they were like, oh, you boys are from New York, eh? Or actually, they're British. But whatever.
They're British guys, to be clear.
Whatever.
No, they were singing your praises.
Regardless, they called us sick cunts. And they were like, you got to fucking get over there. And I don't think, whatever. They were, the whole Carhartt Whip team seemed very high on this collab.
Super
Really
stoked.
fucking performed.
Yeah, I'm super stoked, and it did really well on how it was received, and also with the wholesale and with the sell through. And yeah, it was a great collaboration because I started, at 16, 17 working at a streetwear store called Wellgosh, and in Leicester where I grew up. And Carhartt Whip was one of those first brands which I was selling, which I was trying on. So to then do a full circle, to then obviously then collaborate with a brand which I've known for so long.
Right.
And also these archetype of menswear clothing, like a chore jacket, a double knee, all these things.
Right.
And I was
The
just
classics, play the hits.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And it was great. And it was great. They gave me so much room and movement to work within. And they were a great partner to
Did you work with Steve
here. Yeah. Shout out Steve.
Steve W.
Yeah.
He was great.
Formerly known as Dirty.
I think
The artist formerly known as.
The one point, I think the most reaction I got from Steve was when Pink Sifu was standing on a table at the Williamsburg event, and it was rocking so hard because the crowd was just going in and Sifu was just giving it. And I was like, oh man, I just hope this doesn't turn sideways. And I could see Steve slowly creeping around, just making sure
He doesn't want to
no
get
one's going to
sued.
get hurt. Yeah. But it was great.
Don't worry, we're going to sell a lot of crowns, Steve.
But that just shows you the energy of that launch event, and also the amazing way that Steve and the whole Carhartt Whip team in New York, all of them have been so supportive and really got behind it. So
What about the shoes?
Yeah,
for
what about the
stomping
feet?
around this cold brick ass New York winter.
basically, I sprained my ankle in Paris.
Yeah, we're going to ask about it.
So
You're not doing too well, are you?
Yeah. So I've just got these classic mountaineering boots from a British label, which I just picked up for
Carl Moore?
Yeah.
Kari Moore?
yeah.
Those are kind of,
They're
I never
hard.
heard of that.
Yeah.
They're quite a commercial-esque
Okay.
brand, which you'd find in pretty like big sportswear outlets. But the fact that they're warm and I sprayed my ankle,
Right.
I just had to have something which I knew
Cashed
was
out of
gonna be
JD
true.
Sports or some shit, right?
Essentially.
Yeah.
So probably not the most easiest, but in
Right.
terms of having a sprained ankle,
They're walking shoes.
Yeah.
exactly, and trekking through this terrain we're getting,
Something you struggle at walking.
I had to leave the Clark's Wallabies on ice and maybe go for comfort.
Oh, it would have been real slippery out there on those crepe soles.
Yeah,
exactly.
You'd have been asking for trouble.
So yeah, I went for comfort over Steez.
What about the neckerchief?
Yeah, actually, my wife bought me this. It's just a silk bandana scarf she picked up in, I think it was Japan or maybe here. So yeah, obviously wifey bought it. So it's nice to have that there.
Sentimental.
Can we talk hardware?
Yeah, jewelry. Dude.
Jewelry, yeah, obviously I really love Native American jewelry. So I picked up these two actually here, one in Santa Barbara, this turquoise ring, and also this one, this stone came from Arizona.
Big boy.
And it's a pretty big, beefy turquoise.
Statement piece.
Yeah. And I have a matching bolero tie as well.
Oh, nice.
Which is just as big. Which actually Noah Johnson, when I saw him at the GQ Pie, was like, I know you've been coming to America, but you guys are really taking it on. Yeah. I was like, no, come on, I'm embracing being over here and picking up these amazing pieces of jewelry, which have such a strong...
It's a sign of respect.
Exactly. So shout out to Noah for...
What about the timepiece?
Yeah, what's the watch, bro?
Sorry?
What's
the
watch?
timepiece?
Oh, this is Longines. It's a really thin watch, and it's one of their classic ranges. And this was actually a wedding present from my father-in-law.
Bro,
so
it's like thin as a dime.
Yeah, the only thing, because I'm out so much at different clubs and events, me being the music guy, it's got the black face. So sometimes I'm like, man, I'm not sure. Oh, well, that's all right.
Whatever.
We'll just keep going.
You pull out your phone, on the flashlight. You're like, oh.
And then my wife, she has a matching watch.
Oh.
So is
That's
what
cute.
we had on our wedding day.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
So it's nice. It reminds me of my wife, and also, just a really nice thin watch, which is great because I wear a lot of layers.
Mm-hmm.
So normally when I'm layering up, having a thin, very streamlined watch and having the black face sometimes not convenient, but it's great.
What about the socks and undies?
What am I wearing on that point? I think I've got a Muji setup going on. Nice little wool.
Japanese rig.
Exactly. A little wool cotton mix. Again, I think I've got 2 pairs of socks on today, actually.
How cold are you?
Yeah, just because of my feet and there's ankle and everything going on.
Yeah.
So, so definitely thinking about the weather.
Oh, what about your rucksack?
Yeah.
That is a very, very well-traveled Porter special edition bag I picked up in Tokyo. And that has been through the wars.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
The literal trenches, man.
Yeah, Trenchtown ruck.
Trenchtown, exactly. But I picked that. That was one of the first things I bought from their Omatosando store. And I love the Porter bags and the design. And that's a good example. If they want to buy that off me as a piece to
archive
showcase, So I picked that up. Oh,
Fire.
man. That was one of my first trips to Japan.
Oh, shit.
How many times have you been to Japan?
Maybe like around, I don't know, maybe like 8 times. So
really, I expect, but for work and pleasure.
Yeah. So I kind of went twice a year or once a year. Oh, obviously we had the pandemic, but I always loved going there, and it was where the brand started. Beams.
Talk about it,
Harajuku International Gallery Beams were the first people to believe in me and the Japanese community and the buyers. And
did you ever link with Terry
Ellis? Yeah. Actually, we've known each other for a while, but we've spent probably the most amount of time on my last trip. So I went to his store in Koenji, Mogi, and he has his gallery as well as the store. And I picked up some amazing pieces and some really nice Okinawan ceramics, which I got a matching set for me and my wife.
Is he still at Beams, or has he?
He's concentrating purely on Mogi, which is
the ceramic.
Yeah, Mogi. So he has Mogi store.
Uncle Terry.
Terry, and it's great because he understands exactly where I'm coming from, being Jamaican, but living in the UK, but then also being based in Japan for so long. So he really loves what I've been doing and been following, and it's really nice to go to his store in Koenji. It's probably one of the very few things I managed to do on that last trip between the Harajuku launch events and Clark's Originals.
The obligations,
but I mean, I always like to make time to find vintage and to find, the elders who I respect, what Terry's been doing, because he's been having this conversation with Jamaican culture within Japan longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
So he's really been a pioneer in like introducing and being that authentic storyteller with his store and everything he's done with Fenneco as well, and his wife. So it's
Fenneco,
cool.
That's Was he? Did he bring you into the Beams organization and family, or had he broken off from Beams at that point?
they already had their installation when my brand first got there, but I think that's when he first knew about the brand, because then he was like, oh, there's this British designer with Jamaican heritage now having his collections in beams.
This guy reminds me of myself a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's cool. He's great. Like Terry got big love, and hopefully I'll catch him when I head to Japan next week and check out more of his amazing space and gallery and his West African folk art and sculptures, as well as the Okinawan ceramics.
He's been in it for a minute. All right.
Yeah,
Fit
man.
check complete.
Yes.
Real quick. What happened with this tumble you took in Paris?
Oh, just you would have thought after nearly a decade in the game that, don't run to an appointment whilst on the phone on cobbled streets of Paris and just bad spatial awareness. So yeah, I just fell and hat came off, phone came off.
Oh.
Coat was on the ground. Yeah, I just picked myself back
Yard
up
sale.
and just and just hobbled my way
Yard
back
sale.
to the showroom, and then had a bag of French peas on my ankle.
You also told me that when you told me the story in Paris, no one helped you.
No one helped you. No one really.
That's not shocking.
I think
because it's
Paris,
it's Europe and Paris.
Yeah,
and your POC.
I think maybe people, because it happened quite slowly. It was quite a slow fall.
Oh no, the worst.
You're a tall guy. Big man fall hard.
Yeah, basically. But
brutal.
Yeah, no one really came to the rescue, but I managed to pick myself back up and again had a really successful time for the rest of the showroom. And thank you for coming to the event, which I was hobbling around.
Fashion
trying
is pain.
Trying to host a nice evening with all the friends and family. Whilst
shout out
Montezuma Cafe for sure. Amazing.
All right. So we did the math, and we think that you're the first person on this podcast who is a graduate of Central St. Martin's. How much student loan debt do you have left to pay off after 10 years of Nicholas Daley, the brand?
Still some.
Yeah. Because it's a public school, right?
Yeah, it's part of the University of Arts London, which has like Chelsea, St. Martin's, London College of Fashion. So it's like a multi of different departments and schools.
But shit ain't free.
I know. And obviously and this is a good point, because when I applied, the fees were still there, but not as expensive as they are now.
Oh.
So if I was to have a conversation with my parents, said I want to be a fashion designer, knowing the current debt and the school costs and financing, it would have been a much harder conversation, maybe
much shorter conversation.
A much shorter conversation because like that is an accumulating of debt. And when you're trying to make these decisions on what you want to do and what you want to believe in, obviously the education system, and I really feel it's the real spearhead. That's why, at the Met Gala, there's so many Black British designers. At LVMH Prize, when I was a semi-finalist, half of us were British brands. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that we have some of the best fashion institutions, like producing some of the best designers across men's and women's and accessories. So I feel like
what, Craig Green, right? I'm trying to think of other contemporary.
Craig, like even in my year, my sort of class of 2013, 2014, you had Kiko and the MA.
Oh.
Grace was a year behind me. Charles Jeffrey was in my year. You had Campbell Laddie was
the new
2 years
Antwerp
behind.
6, bro.
There was a whole Shinya Kozuko was in my class. He just showed at Pitti as one of the guest designers. Yeah. So even and then that's just people who are designers, let alone them at different houses like as designers. So my generation, it's cool to see where everyone is now, because
and it's not just design, right? It's also like the business and like kind
marketing.
of if you know, or like the infrastructure of like fashion industry as well, not just like, hey, I'm making clothes.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in class or whatever with your contemporaries in uni, is it pretty like clear, like, yo, like, what's this motherfucker doing here? They can't design for shit. And they're like,
talking about screen
that guy Kiko's got it.
Yeah.
Grace got it. I mean, that's the future creative director of Hermes.
Put some respect on it.
I think, you can only really, you don't have a crystal ball, but I think the work ethic is what you can see early on. And I always knew, like, growing up, I have to work twice as hard being, a Black designer in an industry where we are the minority, trying to push through to break boundaries. And that's something that I was taught, not even from my dad's side, or also from my mum's side, because they both came from very like working class backgrounds. So working hard and trying to elevate yourself. So I was in there like Monday to Friday, doing my patterns, researching, really pushing. Then I got a Saturday weekend job at Dover Street Market. So at one point I was doing Monday to Sunday.
Damn, you were in the lab, bro.
Like those last few months, like before I finished because I was trying to pay for my final collection as well. But all of that was just like my way, a bit crazy. And I'd say any students watching, please balance your time between work. But what I would say is, I work really hard. And then some of the designers, what I see now who have continued to blossom or have their own namesake brands, I know for a fact that they were also really hard workers. And I guess that's probably the one thing I think does kind of create a natural separation with the ones who then pursue to really follow what they want to do.
Kiko wasn't raving until like 8 in the morning.
Well, we were bad. Like sometimes
I was gonna say.
we finished at 10, 11 at the studio because we were at the old St. Martin's College, not at King's Cross, the one in Soho. We just put our lockers and we'd be out.
Yeah, right. You're right there.
And we'd be out like 3, 4 a.m., go back, and then back in the studio.
It's research.
I know, yeah. So we were pretty intense sometimes, not all the time.
Right.
How'd your shit get graded? Did you be like, that's fire? That's ass. Like,
Yeah, banger.
I mean, yeah, again, like having really great tutors. Christopher New, who was the head of menswear at that time, he was really supportive, and he was like, look, he really believed in me doing me. And even when I was cast in my graduate collection, you know, I reached out to Don Letts, he's a DJ, one of the first filmmakers to film around punk. He was right in there with The Clash. So I asked Don, can you walk in my university catwalk show at St. Martin's? And he was like, yeah, like, I'll do it.
Sick.
And everyone thought Don was my dad. But I was like, no, it's Don Letts. But then a lot of the tutors knew who Don was.
Oh, cool.
Because
That's a flex on your part, right?
Yeah, because Don was around with like the Roxy and like all these pivotal moments in like that scene. And obviously the tutor was like, oh wow, you've got Don Letts to like walk in your show.
It's impressive.
So even at that point, before I was even a brand, even with the casting, not just the clothing, I really wanted to tell my story and who I felt was important, or the muse of the collection. And that's why that first collection was entitled Culture Clash. And that was what Beams then picked up on. I think Beams probably knew who Don Letts was because Don has a thing in Japan for a long time. So I don't think things happen for a reason, and there is a domino effect. And I think even before I started a label, I kind of knew very early on that what I wanted to say.
I don't know if you know this because like this, when you were there, this is before like, you know, Instagram became everything. But now our designers like, yo, I gotta get my following up. Like that's got to be, I don't know if that's like a class, but it's like, are there students there trying to become like influencers so that they have like a built-in audience for their brand?
I mean,
it's kind of like sorority girls in the US, like in the South. They all like they have hundreds of thousands of followers, and then they all have like brand deals, and they're like 19-year-old sorority students.
I mean, what I would say is that I'm happy that social media wasn't as prevalent when I was a student.
Especially not at those 4 a.m. nights.
Yeah.
Keep it off the gram.
Because I feel like it was around then, but not to the degree what it is now.
You could focus on the work versus the extra.
And also the pressure of when you're trying to develop your brand and your language, and like social media can twist and turn your mindset. And I only have one account on the IG. I can't have several. And you know, we have someone within my team what helps manage it. But, you know, it is a big part of what we do. And obviously for a brand like myself, where we're trying to project out to an international audience, you have to use the tools which are with us. But I feel like I find a happy medium within how I operate. But I know there's even now when I guest lecture at St. Martin's and institutions, you have so many different types of
people are
courses,
filming it like a concert.
Yeah, well, just the courses and the things they offer, like different things which you can now have a specific Bachelor of Arts in within social media, which even when I was there didn't exist.
Right. What?
Yeah, and that's like 10 years ago.
Crazy.
So it's amazing how
you majored in social media.
I think there are courses in the United Kingdom.
I'm majoring in hitting grid,
which is about social media marketing,
right. The business of social,
or it's become more prevalent within the curriculum.
You're kind of like
selfie 101.
You're kind of like on the last chopper out of St. Martin's before social media. Before social media took over like fashion and streetwear.
Our year was an interesting year because we were the last year at the Soho before St. Martin's switched to One
King's
Granary,
Cross.
King's Cross.
Yeah.
So we were one of the transition years. So it was kind of an end of an era of the Galliano, the McQueen.
Yeah.
At Soho.
Now you're next to Harry Potter.
Yeah, which just always confuses me. But so yeah, we were kind of a sort of class or like the alumni of the handover.
Last of a dying breed.
Kind of, maybe. Something like that. Yeah.
Did you smoke more weed at St. Martin's or at your parents' reggae club in Edinburgh?
I'm always pretty good, man. I got to be switched on with everything that I do with my work. So, you know, for me, it's
kept on the fairway.
I get the most high out of really being in normally within a musical space and listening to the frequencies and just zoning out. I don't drink alcohol either, and I can still stay out till the early hour. Well, you were there at the Montezuma Cafe. You know, that clips,
you were there later than me, bro.
That clip sound system's incredible. Vinyl only. And I think that all boils back to mum and dad and my appreciation of music. And I can get in a really nice sweet spot without being high on any substance.
Did your parents smoke weed?
Probably. Although they don't go into detail with me, but I'm sure they did.
Is the reggae club, and it was in Edinburgh, was that the first place you kind of like noticed like the culture clash, like you were mentioning, where it's like, oh, UK, Caribbean, Jamaican music, foreign and domestic, like fashion, the looks, everything. Is that where you first like noticed, like, I don't know, first got inspiration?
Pot. I mean, I bought some of the family archive photos. There you go. Maybe
swag.
Look at this couple.
Fits first.
Yeah. Oh, man. Look at that.
There's mum and dad.
Oh, I thought she was holding a dog. That's a
fur. She got a fur. Your dad's in the good knit.
So basically, that knitted top, my mum knitted that for my dad.
Oh, sick.
So obviously in Scotland, there's a big knitting tradition. And my mum learned from her grandma and her great grandma.
Good stuff.
So that was one of the first pieces. Because again, my mum didn't have a lot of money, but she knew how to knit. So that was one of the first things and my dad wore it as he would DJ and play.
He looks great.
Yeah. So my dad had just come out of the forces. He was in the Royal Marines. And in the commando division, so like the top tier of it.
So he didn't wear underwear? Is that?
The commandos, like the 45 commandos, I guess is an equivalent of like
sounds hardcore.
The Navy SEAls.
Right. Damn. He was SEAL team.
Yeah, he was SEAL team approved.
SEAL team fits.
Yes.
So he was very fit but also loved music. And then mum and dad started the reggae club together. And there's a few other pictures. This is like a Trinidadian steel pan group.
Steel drums,
called Renegade. And then this was another group called Musical Youth. They did that track, Pasta Ducci.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah,
left
classic.
You're passing the right hand side.
Yeah, so we had, my parents, and they also had groups like Aswad.
Wow.
A lot of like the OG, like British roots rock reggae. But then also, there was a Gambian guy called Count Ozzy. He'd play a lot of high life and West African music. And then my dad would then play a lot of the dub and the reggae. And then my mum would be doing the door because my dad would just let everyone in. So it was the 5 foot.
Like, no, they got to pay the cover.
It was the 5'2" Scottish mother of mine on the front door, controlling the crowd control whilst my dad was on the turntables. Yep.
Well, after CSM, post CSM, we're going to get into like the pre-Nicholas Daley career, but you just celebrated, Nicholas Daley, the brand, just celebrated 10 years.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man.
When did you know the brand was on solid ground and was like a viable business?
I mean, probably
yesterday.
Have you realized that?
Well, maybe it has. I mean, obviously, we've grown both domestically in the UK and parts of Europe, and then obviously working with distributors like Stella Ishii at the News, who Stella's an amazing individual who's got a whole fashion history of what she's done
iconic
with her showroom
in New York,
who she's worked with, as well as then in Japan, I have my distributor, Eli Takahito, who's works with like Story MFG, Sage Nation, Niceness, Japanese brand called Niceness. So I've got some really great partners globally who are really taking care of the brand. And we've been doing it the slow way, trying to work with the right accounts, building it properly, trying to build the business forward. And yeah, like I think we're still a tight team, we're still a tight setup. But I think what I've managed to show is like we've worked with some amazing partners, been part of some amazing cultural fashion moments, had some amazing accolades, awards for the brand. There was LVMH prize or Pratt Visionary Award last year, which was amazing, which Will Welch kind of did the announcement for, which was really, really cool that he gave that time up. So a lot has been achieved even within the tightness of my team, but that's a benefit to also working with the right people who
Right.
truly want to support the
They're
band and the
stewards
business.
of what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Wait, do you feel like you still have a lot to prove though? Like in thinking forward the next 10 years? Like
100%. I mean, the thing what gives me inspiration is when I go to friends' stores, like going to see Evan in San Francisco, going into the shop, and you know, like Lars with Mantle or other brands who have got brick and mortars. I think it's always amazing to see that because I feel that that's like an amazing thing that they've accomplished. And
Is that something on the horizon?
I
Maybe
mean, it's something I'm constantly looking at is, I think because my brand is so world driven as well.
Mhm.
It is the music, it's the culture, it's the clothes, it's the whole thing.
Think of all the performances you could have in that space.
And there'd be a
sick
lot
store,
of it.
dude.
Well, even when we did it with Daiki at Nepenthes,
Yeah.
we did the Nepenthes New York
You could have your
collab.
mom run the door.
Exactly, yeah. And even having that pop up, and that was there for like 2 months.
Right.
But it was cool to
Yeah.
have something here in the city.
Yeah.
People could come, and that was a collaboration with another great designer, Kozabora Copy, who we'd worked on that capsule together. We did like his staple caps with some of my caps, some of our jersey. We did this amazing like Lion of Judah with a Japanese wolf kind of Skajan graphic. And and it was amazing that Daiki let me and Copy have spaces across from each other.
Right.
And he also went to St. Martin's, and he's
Oh,
also part of that. He was a little bit older than me, but he's also part of that experience I had at St. Martin's. And then it's amazing that we're now joining forces creatively together.
Right.
Was it ever on shaky ground though in the early years where you're like, oh, like,
Well, just getting deposits and like getting paid.
yeah,
and-
exactly. You're just
but
hitting deliveries like,
I'm glad that I started with Japan because obviously the level of quality and the QC and the delivery timeframes, Japanese market and stores do not mess around.
Right.
So I was
Culture
kind
based
of
on respect. Dude.
Yeah.
It's not America.
So I learned the best way in terms of how the product should be received and shipped and delivered because of my starting point.
why do you think the brand first really found a toehold and took off in Japan first?
Oh man. It's still something like I'm still so amazed. Like even in October doing the Clark's event at Union Tokyo and then the Carhartt event at the Harajuku store. Yeah, just the real appreciation, not just within the garments I'm making, but just everything what I'm coming with it. And I think the fascination and the appreciation of the culture and, you know, the music and everything. It's just a really great harmony. But I think there's a lot of big tradition with British brands and Japan. Okay, Paul Smith, Vivian Westwood, you know, all these other, even like Barber or Belstaff, these very quintessential British designs or brands or fabrics, Harris Tweed. You know, there's always been that real
A reverence, right?
yeah, between the two islands. But I think I just come with even more because of what I'm bringing with my roots from the Caribbean or something different to what they've already. Okay, they've seen a tartan or Isatan's got a whole tartan capsule, but have they seen it one with myself involved and what I bring to it? So I think, and even like I said, some of the muses and individuals, like say like a Don Letts or whoever we're shooting with or a character, 9 times out of 10 they'll know exactly.
You're scratching a lot of
person
itches
is.
for the Japanese.
And I think that's the reason why it's always been a really great relationship and something I'm always grateful for. And that's the reason why I do make those trips over as regularly as I can,
England,
and feasibly as I can.
England, Japan, Jamaica, island vibes, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I did the
Good kind.
collection. This collection, the fall collection out now is called Island Ties.
There you
So
go.
it's like the islands which tie me together and
Right.
maybe the general ties of islands which the brand sits within. So
Do you ever chill with the Japanese yardmans, like the guys with like the Japanese guys with like dreads down to their
well, you
ass?
can
and, like,
imagine
They live it.
I was in Kingston, Jamaica in September, and there's a real amazing dub bar up in Jack's Hill in Kingston, and there's this OG Rastafari guy, and he's from Japan and he's lived there for ages, and his son is there, and there's documentaries on him. I can't remember the name.
Because he speaks like with the
He's got
patois.
strong patois,
Yeah.
but he's like fully from like
That's so good.
Osaka. And I was just like chatting to him and his son about the impact of Rastafari within Japanese culture and why they're so like, why they have that connection to it. And I think there is something very pure and honest about that within the music, within the culture, within everything. It's like,
There's like some Shintoism in like
Spiritual.
Rastafari connections and like the spirituality and
exactly. being connected to the earth, and we know we're all the same. We're all the same people. One love. There's a lot of I, like the singular, and like how we're connected, and that's the reason why I feel like dub and reggae is such a universal sound, and the frequencies you get from it. Like sound system culture is a big thing I've championed through my work, like whether it's in a pop-up or an installation, or even having like, there's a guy called Dennis Bavell who worked with so many dub reggae artists and punk artists as well, like the Slits and Susie and the Banshees, and he did a whole overdub of one of our collection videos.
Sick.
So I've always been really fascinated about sound system culture, and that's why it's everywhere, from Spain to Japan to here in the States. You know, it's very much something I've tried to explore within my work, and obviously my dad building his own sound system. That's why with the Carhartt Whip collaboration, we build those boxes and did the Iron Man Sligo hand painted with the Mighty Ruler team, because I wanted to have that feeling of like, you know, the origins of kind of where my family and what my dad did and how that creeps into like my fashion world, basically.
Right. So if you saw, a Japanese guy with dreads, respectful, we love it. What about a white guy with dreads? Where do you stand on that?
I mean, for me, it's like, as long as everything done in an authentic way and it's true to them and they believe in it, then I'm not.
So it's case by case.
I'm not against it.
See that guy?
I think I got to speak
White
to
Lion?
the brethren first.
You see that guy M.R?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him.
Oh, I'll send you a video.
There's a
It's,
doc.
Send me a video.
There's a doc on him called White Lion, because he's a full on.
Well, he claimed to
Okay.
be, because there are white people in Jamaica,
Yeah.
like
100%,
former slave owners that
Yeah.
speak Patois. It's crazy.
No, 100%. Yeah. Like,
But he claimed to be from the island, and they're like, bro, you're from like Kensington.
okay.
But-
well,
but-
that's when it can get
But
Culture
he
appropriation.
does
confusing.
spit hot fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I promise. I love it.
Yeah. Send me the
Separate
clip.
the art from the artist.
Send me a clip and then I'll.
You ever,
White Lion.
you ever seen the photo of Adele in the Jamaican bikini with the braids?
I don't think I have, brother.
Just saying.
You got a
There's
lot
a
to
line.
send
There's
me.
a line.
And then we can do a part 2 on my.
There's a line between like respectful and homage and reverence, and then just like
Yes.
you know,
And I think that's something which I always try to distill in my work. Whenever I'm looking at a reference
well,
point,
it's who you are.
does it
It's your
feel
life.
true? Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a single top highlight from these first 10 years? Point to one thing, be like that was the one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That Whip World Tour sounded fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Must be nice.
oh man, it's tough,
Clarks.
man. There's a lot of stuff what's gone on in 10 years, brother. I mean, the nicest thing is like, oh man.
Yeah, the answer is meeting your wife.
Yeah, obviously.
Trick question. You're blowing it.
She had
Nicholas.
us ask you that.
Really?
I'm kidding.
I mean, my top highlight.
Yeah. Singular.
I mean, I have what I would imagine would be.
Let me come
up
back
there.
to the end.
What do you imagine? I'm curious.
I would
It's
imagine
too
that it's
hard.
being included in the Met Museum's costume and
Oh, yeah.
exhibition,
Crazy.
Yeah,
like in the actual exhibition.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not just. I mean, you dressed
Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges.
Yeah,
and that's incredible. But like actually being included in the curation
Yeah.
of the exhibition itself.
yeah. No,
That's
100%. I think that would for sure is up there in the career highlights.
What was like your reaction when you heard that news? And how do you even get that news? Does Anna Wintour like,
It's
D-
winter.
does
I
she
just
call you,
slide in the
DM you?
DMs.
Yo?
Yo, Nick.
And then she comments, check DM.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't follow you, Anna.
Hit requests.
I mean, basically, again, talk about an authentic connection. Like, I've been a big fan of Leon's work for a while, and the stylist, Gabriella, has been in touch prior to the Met about working on some pieces together.
Nice.
I think this just like happened all at the right time. And we didn't really have a lot of time. And we managed to put together an amazing suit for Leon and work with his
he killed
team.
it.
And Leon was like, yeah, this is probably the best. Because I think it'd been 4 or 5 times before.
Yeah.
So he was like a bit of a seasoned pro within
It's
the
like
Met.
a perennial red
Yeah.
guy.
So, and he was like, this one feels the most realist, the most truest. And he also wanted to support a black designer being the overarching theme of the whole of the Met Gala for last year. So again, just very, very humbled that Leon. And since then, we've made more bespoke pieces for
cool.
Leon. He played at Alexander Palace in London. So he wore this amazing denim 2-piece. He's been rocking the Baker Boy and some of the pieces across various tours and whilst he's been on it, and I see it on IG that he truly, is wearing and supporting the brand.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the nicest things. But yeah, to be part of the Met, mum and dad did come over for that. They saw the exhibition.
Sick.
That was amazing.
Cry?
I mean, yeah, it was poignant, man. It was cool because they've been such supportive parents. So for them to see it and
do you get to cut the line if you're in it? It's a long line.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a very popular.
I'm in the
exhibition.
permanent collection, please.
I mean, the opening event morning was incredible, really. Yeah, to see so many other amazing designers and people within the industry.
Great company for sure.
Yeah, and then to have a piece within the exhibition was incredible, and very, very humbled by.
Were you like, you picked the wrong piece, or you like, that's a good representation?
I mean, a lot of people thought maybe like a kilt or some tartan because that's something I've always played on, but we were looking at the Kabiri shirt, which is like a traditional kind of Savari suiting, which the Prime Minister Manley used to wear a lot, and it was seen as like the kind of first kind of anti kind of Western suiting, which was kind of had this sort of safari feel, but very much denoted to like the stylistic kind of references of Jamaica at that time.
Is it a khaki colorway?
Yeah, it's like a kind of khaki colorway,
which has a colonial origins as well that are reinterpreted to your own context.
Exactly. So, and I've always explored these styles, and that's the piece which the Met decided to select because they had one of the original Kabiri shirts.
Oh, cool.
Also showing within the exhibition.
That's a nice little.
So it was kind of like a response to what they'd found historically, and then me as a contemporary brand,
very cool,
also showcasing it through my own design. And then obviously, we had the Clarks on the mannequin.
Of course.
Clarks on the feet.
Only way to.
So it was a big homage to Jamaica, that whole look.
Do you now have a lifetime invitation to the Met Gala?
I got no idea, but I mean,
wait, did you go to the gala that year? Like,
no,
with Leon?
unfortunately, I was there attending all the other moments around it.
But you can't be like, yo, I'm fucking
like, they're like, yo, pay up. Like, get a seat.
I was just happy that it all came to fruition at a point.
Catholicism, Chinese, ancient China, and come on, and me. So
they gave your ticket to Jeff Bezos, dude.
I mean, potentially, yeah. Me and Jeff.
Yeah, you should dress Jeff Bezos next year, dude. That'd be good.
He needs it. He needs it.
But yeah, I mean, what an amazing achievement. And again, having so many other brands and designers who I respect or who are part of my generation to be part of it. And to work with Leon, who now is, I wouldn't say he's like, he's a friend, and that's something which I hope will continue, with our careers. And I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to do that.
Throw gang, it's time to get the blood flowing. Endurance athletes don't talk about this, but heavy training can quietly wreck sexual performance. Long cardio, high cortisol, poor sleep, and under recovery all hit the same systems that control blood flow and hormones. When circulation drops, performance drops everywhere. And that is why Joy Mode makes immediate sense.
Lawrence, sexual performance is a direct reflection of circulation. Erections are one of the clearest biofeedback signals of endothelial health. You know that?
No,
I went crazy deep on the endothelial health Wikipedia last night.
Yeah.
If blood flow is off there, it's off elsewhere too. Joy Mode supports nitric oxide production using meaningful doses of citrulline and nitrate. Not token amounts. I'm talking science. You get better circulation naturally. No forcing, no overriding the meat. 83% of men taking Joy Mode daily noticed a boost in sexual performance. 73% of men using the product noticed positive effects with no prior erectile dysfunction symptoms.
That's right. If you want to support sexual performance the same way you support training and recovery, aka naturally and intelligently, Joy Mode has a deal for our listeners. Go to tryjoymode.com/throwingfits or enter throwing fits at checkout for 20% off. Joy Mode, the electrolyte packet for your dick.
Another designer well represented there, Virgil Abloh, the GOAT. And you spent some time with Virgil and you guys had some pretty far-ranging conversations. Was there any piece of advice he gave you that stuck with you after all these years? It was relatively early in your
career? I mean, it was like 2000 and when was the LVMH prize?
2019?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Semi-finalist.
My research.
Yeah, so
if you had won, you would have remembered immediately.
Virgil was on Virgil was on although I had, oh no, I shouldn't say that.
Okay.
Anyway. But yeah, Virgil was part of the mentoring program. And we actually, to be honest, we spoke a lot about music.
Oh, yeah,
gonna say,
sure.
Yeah, because
What music did you put him onto?
well, a friend of mine, Yusuf Days, amazing drummer, he worked with Virgil on a few pieces, or they were in conversations. And then my wife, Nabia Iqbal, had played with Virgil a couple times, DJing.
Oh, back to back.
Through the DJ. Not quite back to back,
Okay.
but in the sphere of it. So there'd already been like a bit of crossover with like our cross-connecting worlds between fashion and music, and friends of ours in different spaces and places. And I think that was something we spoke a lot about, was our appreciation for music and culture, and how he did so much with it within LV and Off-White, and how I've kind of also very much been inspired by that within my world and through my collection. So the time I had with Virgil was brief, but it was always very inspiring, and what a legacy that he's left.
Absolutely.
And
Did he know ball in terms of like reggae, dub?
Oh yeah, like he's a great DJ, great selector, and like I remember I saw him play a bunch of times, and he was always so varied in the sounds that he would play and his knowledge of it, which I think that's the reason why he had so much mad respect from like, your OGs in the DJ world, and then obviously pioneering in fashion. So
the frequencies were valid.
the frequencies
Virgil was
were
on
valid.
the ones and twos.
Yeah.
I have a very hard question for you. Who are the best dressed musicians ever?
Damn. Oh man. Well,
You claim to be inspired by music.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
mean,
Put him on the spot.
obviously the main ones, like obviously Miles Davis, I gotta say,
Okay, yeah.
because
Legend.
I think
What
his-
era?
All of them.
I mean, all of them. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Bitches Brew period was pretty good. I love that whole 70s psych kind of era, and how flamboyant, and the cuts and the colors and the shapes. But also when you go back to like, the bebop, sharp suiting 50s,
Black Ivy.
Ivy League. Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible. And obviously Jason Jules' book,
Mhm.
Black Ivy, Jason's
Absolutely.
a good friend. And
Shout out Jason Jules.
amazing. Another great British sort of mindset in terms of sartorialism in fashion, especially within menswear. So yeah, Mars has always been a big one. Obviously Bob, come on, gotta say it,
Come
Bob
on.
Marley.
Three Stripe Life.
It's another legend. And obviously the Reggae Club, actually talking about that, the Reggae Club t-shirt.
Oh, here we go. That's right.
Oh, I don't know whether I can get it out. One second.
Oh, you styled it.
This
I've
is
like
yeah.
freestyle. So this is Dad's military shirt.
Oh shit!
From
His
the Commandos.
from the Commando Division.
Yeah. So it's like British Marine shirt.
Wait, how tall were your parents?
This was quite a tight fitted shirt.
Okay,
This
I was
was
gonna
So
say.
like people were skinny and fit in the
Yeah.
in the 70s,
but yeah,
80s.
the
You know?
Reggae Club t-shirt. as you
Are these
can
his
see here.
pins as well?
These are pins from Mum and Dad. So yeah, they saw Bob Marley on his European tour. This one's called the Rock Against Racism one, which is obviously just as important now in the world we live in. So they were part of that, and battling the far right.
Don't forget the
in
weed
the
leaf.
70s. The weed leaf going on, the cannabis, weapons of peace. What a great name that is. Scar, tradition. Yeah. So, but this t-shirt, my dad was inspired or took the Uprising sleeve cover and then did the Reggae Club symbol, which is now like
Your dad was a streetwear designer.
yeah, basically, yeah, like he was doing merch, like,
logos.
but he was there in the iron in their apartment in Edinburgh, like making the merch for the club.
Sick.
And that's kind of where
Amazing.
that's where that graphic came from. And that's why I'm still very much using it within the collection.
Is he like, yo, where's my cut?
He's literally said that. And some of the family
I'm gonna have to get back
on my
to you,
dad's
Pops.
side, like the royalties.
Oh yeah.
But it was amazing because then we had Zion Marley,
Mhm.
the grandson of Bob Marley, wearing the Reggae Club t-shirt
Fire.
in like a couple music videos and on stage. So it's kind of cool that like, mum and dad were inspired by Bob.
He's like the most popular Marley musician now, right?
I
Damien
mean,
Marley is huge.
Damien.
I thought Zion though kind of like
Zion's like the
Right.
grandchild generation, not
Yeah.
just the actual sons, but like the next gen, I guess the kind of millennial, even Gen Z kind of like Skip Marley.
Sure.
And then you've got Zion Marley and YG Marley, the kind of grandchildren generation. So it was nice to see
Talented
that, 'cause
family.
obviously like mum and dad were inspired and saw Bob, and stylistically, musically, and through his clothing and what he wore has been a big inspiration. But then also it's cool that now that my brand is then coming back around, being worn by the grandchildren of such
Poetic.
an icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Interestingly enough, question related to jacking your dad's designs.
Yes.
You've said
Inspired.
in previous interviews, you've said that protecting your ideas and your IP as a designer is super important.
Yes.
Have you gotten your shit jacked before and like had to learn from tough lesson that way?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because when you do these moments like the LVMH prize,
Yeah.
obviously it's such a pivotal moment where lots of people are looking to see who's the next brand or how are we going to work with them.
They're looking very closely.
And basically off the back of that, then there was some copyright, which I had, or some IP, which then I had to kind of go through that whole saga. But it was a learning experience.
Was it like a high street shop?
Not so much. It was mainly like trademarking. And that was a long
Was it
process.
H&M?
No, not even.
I just want to say H&M.
I didn't even know. It was just like a pirater. And I think it was cool not cool at all, but cool in the sense, not cool. What am I saying cool? It was just like an eye-opener. It sucked. Yeah. It wasn't cool at all.
Well, bro, you know who got his shit jacked the most is Bob Marley.
Very true. And there's a couple of the elders who I know, like there's an amazing photographer called Dennis Morris who shot a lot of Bob in London and in Jamaica. And like he did so many, like he had his first retrospect in London at the Photographers Gallery from like the Stones Roses to Blondie to Bob. Like his career is so epic and his imagery has been appropriated and changed so much. So when I chat to the elders who have been in it, whether it's photography or fashion, you know, unfortunately, it is part of the world
game,
we live in. And even more so now with how things can be manipulated and changed, you know, even within music with AI and everything.
That's true.
We're going to see the Baker Boy on Temu.
Yeah. Shein, dude.
I mean, you know, it's an interesting time for all of that. So obviously that was an experience that I had, which kind of made me wake up in terms of my own business and the brand and how I need to protect it and what I need to do. But
it's your name, man. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Is that also like the reality? Like that's the reality. And it's like, well, kind of the only way to stay ahead of the imitators is to just keep making more new fire shit.
Keep basically,
Is glass half full perspective. I don't know. Like
I ain't really got the time or the personnel in that fact to kind of be going around chasing everyone for
lawyer up
for royalties. But you know, it is part of the business, and I think, you know, it's something which I've had experience and learned from. And
charge it to the game, bro.
Protect your shit.
Yeah.
Protect your neck. All right, let's take it back real quick.
Okay.
What was it like interning for Sir Paul Smith, OBE?
Yeah, I mean, great experience. I mean, again, like what I said earlier on about British brands from an international like level, whether it's Japan or America. And
how many stores does he have in Japan?
Bro, so many.
It's like
So-
200.
He's a legend, bro.
But it's great. And like, you know, I was there for about 6 months. Sir Paul.
Yeah, please. Put some respect on his name.
And it was a real great experience. Like,
What was your role? What were you doing?
I was mainly by the photocopier. And,
Gopher.
And but it's mainly just going into his studio, cutting swatches, spending time with the print team, spending time with the men's design team, with their PS jeans, which was like the diffusion line. You know, I was just kind of in and around, just soaking
whatever
it in.
you need me to do. Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, go out, get coffees, whatever it is. It's just the internship life. But it also like taught me, you know, how that kind of side of fashion works. And also just because like, you know, I think the British traditions which I play on, whether it's like making my own tartan or making a Shetland wool jumper or working with like George Cox for my new collection, like Northampton Shoemaker, a lot of these names and fabrics and places and areas of where they're made in the UK, I've learned from seeing where other British brands have collaborated with or where they produce it. Yeah. So I think some of that also kind of was kind of inspired me to then obviously through my work and through my collections always try and champion or involve like what the richness we have in the UK.
Sure.
You know, like the craft.
He's been
and the
twisting
mills.
the classics since like day one. Right?
Yeah. And
he's like a pioneer.
Exactly. And I think that's where.
Well, I think what we realized, so we podcast with him, we realized that he is Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
He like
He's
all
incredible.
That like, you know, swinging London in the 60s.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah.
He was just like doing drugs with Mick
what a
Jagger
guy.
and like, you know, and Bianca and like,
Yeah.
he literally was awesome. Did you ever like chat with him or come?
Yeah. Maybe not as much as I would have hoped, but a few, I think twice when I was interning, and then afterwards, Paul's been had a lot of moments with the British Fashion Council.
Right.
So through those like meetings and some of the programs, Paul's kind of been there to kind of give advice or mentoring to like.
And did
brands.
when did it hit you that he is an absolute eccentric genius?
One of none.
Emphasis on the eccentric.
I mean, going into a studio, I was like, wow, this guy loves collecting stuff.
Yeah.
You know, all the figurines and the books, but also his choice of
Toy chickens,
photography, and also with music, which I think, again, me and Paul spoke a fair bit about some of the bands and musicians he starred and played and who he knew, and things on the walls like Patti Smith, really nice portrait of her, or, you know, Stones Roses or whatever it is. I think there's also that connection, which I kind of saw with Paul and thought was cool.
What about when you interned on Saville Row? What exactly were you doing there?
I was at a house called Hardy Abeys, and that was a very kind of like traditional Saville Row house, which had been there for a while. And Hardy Abeys is kind of similar to Paul
a while,
Smith.
meaning like 100 years?
Yeah. I mean, basically for me, I was like, I just want to be on Saville Row to learn about one of the birthplaces of like modern menswear or Western modern menswear within, you know, the context of like a 3-piece suit and the traditions like Dress Down Friday and all the houses, like the different houses and how they create or cut, like Anderson and Shepherds or Geeves and Hawks. And like, you know, there was a lot of things I just wanted to expose myself to. And I felt as a student of fashion at that time at St. Martin's doing menswear, considering Saville Row was literally like a 25-minute bus ride, I'd be crazy not to try and interact with, when I know there's a lot of other students or people who want to learn about tailoring who don't have that opportunity or that access, you know, to at least. So I only spent about again, around 6 months on Saville Row. And a lot of that was kind of just trying to soak in as much.
Fact finding.
Yeah, there was no way that I'd be a trouser maker or a suit maker, but I learned a lot about like pad stitching and how to take measurements across the body and the fit and like the hedge roll you put in a sleeve and like all these lexicons and jargon, which obviously then helped me understand, okay, well, how would I wear a suit, or what types of suit do I like, or what do I feel more connected to?
What's the vibe there? Like, I mean, this is relatively recently. Is it still kind of like old school, traditional, it's like stuffy, or are the shops starting to realize maybe they need to like modernize or die?
I mean, I haven't been down Saville Row for a minute.
When was the internship? Like, it was during school, so like 15 years ago or so.
Okay. Oh, you're talking like 2011 or something.
I mean, relative to Saville Row, that's like
that's a blip,
blink of an eye.
I mean, like I've seen they've done certain collaborations. Like I think Grace did a few suiting or some sort of collaboration with Anderson and Shepard, I'm going to say, or Huntsman. And I know
one of them did the Kingsman movie, I think.
Yeah, Kingsman. My good friend Rav has Cloth Surgeon, which is a new. Yeah, so, and we were part of the GQ finalists together.
Who won that year?
I think I won that. Yeah.
You did?
You think?
Yeah, no,
was there
I
not
won
a big comical novelty check?
I'm pretty sure, me, Rav, Cloth Surgeon. I can't remember.
There's like
because I applied 3 times, so I'm trying to remember.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time was a charm. But I met Rav through the GQ program, and obviously he's doing some pioneering stuff for sure with Cloth Surgeon and on Saville Row,
he did
the first South Asian,
the Nike Tech suit.
Yeah, and
that's right.
And it's amazing. He's like one of the first South Asian director
Central
founded
Seas
brand. Yeah, and like Pep Guardiola, Nas.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's amazing to see that freshness coming onto Saville Row. But I'm sure there has been more collaborations and interesting things with Saville Row.
So some of the shops are like, okay,
yeah.
we gotta like start, branching out. We can't just keep making suits for earls and viscounts and dukes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be an interesting role for any young designer to have the opportunity to work with a house at Saville Row. But I know there are certain traditions in place and strategies. So,
Well, speaking of those traditions, like what is the Ivy Towers perspective of like a young POC designer trying to get an internship? Like, what was that? Did you feel like total fish out of water, or did they embrace you because of your vision?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the culture at certain houses might be different. I know at Huntsman, they have a pretty good diverse group of upcoming tailors or
Cutters.
jacket makers or cutters. But, you know, like everything with traditions, it obviously constantly needs to be given
refreshed.
So, but for example, you know, and it has like Gus Casely Hayford, he was the creative director of Gives and Hawks, which I think he did some great work there. And obviously then started their namesake brand, Casely Hayford, with his son Charlie, who's a good friend of mine. And they have their own atelier, not on Saville Row, but on Chiltern Street, and very much into bespoke suiting. And Charlie was also part of the Met Gala, and his dad was awarded an award at the BFC, long overdue, but was awarded like a Lifetime Achievement Award. Unfortunately, when he had passed and wasn't present to be there to receive it.
It was one of those deals, yeah.
But I think, the Casey Hayford family are a really interesting one as Black British designers and trained tailors who've then had an impact, not just in fashion, but also on Saville Row. And obviously Charlie's still doing it with the Casey Hayford name on Chiltern Street. So I think that's a really good example.
We've been talking kind of, you know, mentioning a few UK brands here and there, but like what are, besides yourself, favorite UK brands right now? Because from where we're sitting, you know, 6,000 miles away or 3,000 miles away, it does feel like the UK is having like a surge right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about you just named all the contemporaries that you named are just like, oh, go. But like, who are your favorite right now that are doing interesting things?
Well, I mean, shout out to Grace, of course. Like, and obviously, I was nominated for Menswear Brand of the Year at the British Fashion Council Awards. And I kind of already knew, I was like, if I was the judge, you know, Grace to get that role as a talented creative designer and be the creative director at Hermes, being a Black female, but just being a great designer regardless of.
A trailblazer.
And I feel very humbled by that. But also Martine Rose, another amazing designer.
Love Martine.
And obviously, like, then you got Bianca Saunders. And I'm just like, wow, like, what a time for me as a Black British designer to be part of a generation of amazing Black female designers, or just Black British designers in general, who were all doing amazing stuff in the industry, all coming out of, you know, the city which we're all based in. And we're all, you know, part of the Caribbean diaspora from Jamaica or parts of the Caribbean. But I think people don't talk about that enough. And I feel very humbled that I'm seeing that and living it, and they're my peers, you know. So then if I have a daughter and, you know, or I have some interns who are interning with me, especially who are female and Black or brown, I'm like, look, like, there's no reason why you can't be a creative director. There's no reason why you can't be like Choma at British Vogue.
Or run Hermes.
Exactly. And I think,
and
I love that when I'm chatting to people in my studio, or if I ever have the case, if I have, you know, children or whatever, or even my niece, Mia, if she wants to be a designer or creative. I think that's really, really cool. And I'm happy that I'm able to see that.
The rising tides, like the rising tide lifts all ships thing. And these are a lot of people that you went to school with or that you're friends with, these contemporaries. Is there any part of you that there's this competition in you that like wants to win these awards, or, you know, is that, or are you just like totally like,
I mean,
just all friendly?
Yeah. I mean, to be nominated for being Menswear Brand of the Year last year at the BFC Awards, and, you know, it was at the Royal Albert Hall, and there's, you know, the OGs are there, like Mick Jagger's in front of me.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
We don't really have that over here.
It's just an honor to be nominated.
Yeah.
We have the suit
and then
award.
we worked with Will Poulter, the actor.
Yeah.
We made a whole suit for him. First time he was going, amazing actor. And he's been a big fan of my brand for a long time. And I didn't know. But he's an incredible actor, like in The Revenant and all the other films. The Bear as well. I think,
We Are the Millers, I believe.
Yes, We Are the Millers. Great comedy.
But it's like,
if anyone needs to put it on their watch list.
But
it's the no regrets test.
Yeah,
or
no, that's the other guy.
It's the other guy.
Yeah. So whether it's like, you know, just really.
So no competition in you.
I mean, obviously there's always the edge to see like what your peers are doing or how they're communicating with it. But I think at this point, when I'm hitting 10 years of the brand, I'm just trying to do the best I can to continue what I've done so far.
Not compare yourself
to have more stability, more time to put into other places within my life. But then also, just obviously continue to grow, but then also give back. It's been an interesting one. Like, I was a judge at the St. Martin's BA show, the Pratt Visionary Award for what I've done in fashion, you know, some more mentoring roles that I've been doing. So I feel like also in the last year or so, there's been a little bit more of
the juice.
me giving back
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
to
And put yourself out there.
yeah,
Being out there more.
and also
You're a guy now.
yeah, and like people coming up and asking me questions like, you know, in terms of what I've managed to achieve and what
Just
advice
right
that
now.
I can give. Yeah.
Would you ever, if the opportunity came up, would you ever go work under another, whether it's a house or a big brand,
Yeah.
and kind of like have to work under their codes and vision
Yeah.
and language and style language, you know, or would you rather like stay in control of like what you've built over the last, not just 10 years, but your whole life?
Yeah. Good question.
You ever thought about that? Or is that
I mean,
could he balance
yeah, I
it?
have. I'm ready for it.
Oh, yo, okay.
Yeah.
Louis?
Yeah.
Louis, come
I
on,
mean-
come on,
Oh,
come on.
I mean,
I feel like
Come on. We all know
we're gonna fire. We're firing Pharrell and we're hiring Nicholas Daley. Come on.
No,
I feel like
I mean,
Kenzo maybe.
I
I think you have to,
Yeah, Nico's
for,
dog
for
shit.
you to achieve what you want to do, self-belief is the first step. So I feel,
Oh, yeah.
I feel in my career after hitting 10, the collaborations I've done, the
Yeah.
wholesalers, the network I've grown,
Again, huge year.
I think
it's like, I know that I'm ready if it felt the right alignment and the brand or the organization or the house was interested. But I know I'm very specific in terms of my design and the way I translate my
think
designs. So, but
Ferragamo's going to have an opening. I think Maximilian Davis is going to potentially get hired
Versace?
somewhere else. Yeah,
Versace?
and then we got fucking opening at Ferragamo, dude. I'm
I
just saying.
mean, who knows?
Put another
where-
black guy in charge.
Who knows where it might end up? But
Nicholas Daley at Versace.
I feel in terms of my
Yo,
in terms of
banger.
my career to continue to like
Mhm.
really fully feel like I've pushed myself as a creative, the more sort of ways that I can communicate
Yeah.
that, the better.
According to Pratt, you're a visionary. So
Exactly.
that says it all.
Exactly. And I think after the successes of last year and what I achieved last year, I feel ready for
fucking go.
a
It's
role
fire, dude.
as long as it
That's
makes
confidence.
sense.
Yeah, right. If it makes dollars and cents, we got you. We got you.
This makes sterling.
Mm-hmm.
From like the perspective you've gained and the 100,000 hours you put in, have you like what clocks to you as like the biggest differences in the menswear landscapes in America and in the UK? Like how do, whether it's the consumer, whether it's how we like approach things.
Yeah.
I think in the UK, designers get a lot more support,
Oh,
and just like the
100%.
arts in general.
Yeah.
We don't fuck with art in America.
It's art.
Yeah, I'd say
Not guns.
Yeah, our military is pretty
Yeah.
fucking huge. But,
Yeah,
you know, but-
yeah.
If your art kills people, you're good to go, dude. But you need to accomplish that first.
I mean, yeah, kind of what I said earlier on about the institutions we've had, the universities, the
Right.
colleges,
Just the history.
the history of it. There's a lot more there which has been built and ingrained, and maybe a network which is, you know, has produced a lot more designers and creative directors in comparison to other parts of the world. But I do think things are changing and the world is getting more global. And even when I was at St. Martin's doing some lecturing, the whole class is from Korea, from the States, from China, from, you know, so the classrooms are also looking different in terms of the next generation. But I feel like, you know, British brands as a whole, I just think, as I said, you know, it doesn't sometimes hit me until there's like a moment, like the Met Gala, and I'm looking to my left and my right.
Yeah.
Who else is, which of the brands or designers or creatives are adjacent, or if I'm at the LVMH prize, who else is kind of in this final, semi-finals or finals, or, you know, at all these moments where I kind of have a little check-in, I'm like, oh,
Pinch
wow.
me.
You know, like actually British brands and British designers, we are always kind of there. And I think that is also due to the fact like the British Fashion Council has been a big supporter of mine. And I know you have the CFDA here who also do like, you know, they're covering to supporting and growing American designers and working with institutions like with FIT and Parsons. But
Sure.
I mean, I don't know enough about it to comment.
Yeah,
fully.
no, I think there's a fundamental failing on behalf of the CFDA when it comes to specifically menswear, but
It's a shorter Wikipedia page.
Okay, I'll have to check
Which
out
is how
what
you
you
judge
guys have
anything.
put on.
Speaking of America and New York specifically, like, you know, you're obviously here right now. It's market, whatever. Like, how important is New York specifically to like what you are trying to build globally.
Man. Like New York's just been crazy. It's been incredible. Like the amount of people.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
We
This is all New York. This is all part of the vibe.
Yeah,
right?
there's a cop situation outside. We're all right.
So for me, like it's been almost somewhat of a second home. I feel like for me, like Tokyo, London, and New York are 3 cities which give me so much, not just in as a creative and as a business, but also just in terms of what I feed off and the people I've met here. And yeah, man, like, yeah, just New York's been really special. And I think obviously that was amplified last year, you know, at these moments I had in the city.
The Nepenthes moment and stuff
The
like that.
Nepenthes thing,
Carhartt.
everything
Yeah.
like 300-400 people, Carhartt, 400-500. It was just like nuts to see that many people pull up.
And it's
People that I
important to your
never met.
business though, like to have that
Yeah.
in New York specifically
Yeah.
versus LA or
Yeah. LA's like, yeah, we've like, it's something I'd love to explore more on the West Coast more.
Can't sell outerwear in LA.
That's also true. But,
air conditioning cars.
And we have the Caribbean diaspora here.
and I think that's a
Okay.
big part of it. I think because of
It's
that,
authentic.
like being in Brooklyn, going to some of the spots, like we have a stockist in Bed-Stuy Seed,
Mhm.
and like, you know, it's just, I think that history and that connection point is also really true. And I think I get a bit like Tokyo, reggae music and British culture is appreciated. And I think here in New York, because of the history of the Caribbean diaspora, I think that's also another reason why the events and the parties and the DJs who I select and want to be a part of, they really connect with it. And
Vibes Cartel didn't sell out fucking Bitcoin Arena or whatever the fuck. He sold out Barclays.
Crypto.com arena. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's a big part of it. And I think, you know, it's like one of my favorite spots is like Ital Kitchen in Brooklyn as well. Chef Mike, he does a real amazing bowl of food and his special
Drinking food?
So
What type of food?
oh, he does like a kind of like all Ital vegan food, all freshly done. He like grows it and everything. He does amazing juices.
Farm to bowl.
Yeah, and it's credible. And like seeing these independent businesses here when I'm going around and different designers who I've just like.
And you feel the love from New York, like because obviously, clearly, New York is giving you life, but you feel
100%.
like it's being
Well,
returned.
even the Met was crazy, you know, like to one of the biggest moments in the city within our
but
world.
outside of those crazy, moments,
Even upstate, man. I mean, upstate, but I literally just came back from upstate. So
Really?
Yeah. Like my wife was DJing there, and
Jamaica, New York.
no, it was like
That is
Kingston, New
Oh,
York.
that's what I was thinking of. Jamaica, Queens, Kingston,
Actually,
New York.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Sorry, my
so
bad.
even going upstate for the first few times last year and this year, I think it's crazy how you guys can drive for 2 hours and just see so much epic scenery. It's and just that.
Yeah, we might take it for granted, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
from
figured
me, you know, and then when I think of places in Scotland I've been to, then it kind of has a nostalgic feeling because I've been going, obviously having a Scottish mother since I was a wee bairn, as my mum would say. So seeing those hills and mountains and natural landscape is like something
Moors.
which helps my mental health.
Mm.
Sure.
So it's cool that I've been upstate a few times as well to appreciate that.
We talked about the Carhartt Whip collab. I guess having the global tour, but really going off from Brooklyn. When it comes to collaborations, and you had those 2 huge ones, massive ones last year.
Yeah.
Who's a dream collaboration
Oof.
that you want to manifest? Now that you got 2 big ones under your belt.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 dream collabs, but now
I mean, yeah,
take it off the list.
both
so.
of those are pretty good. Like, definitely, I'm so glad that they came to fruition because they're brands which I've personally been like. My granddad in Jamaica, he was a cobbler,
Yeah.
so some of those shoes that you'd make would be like Clark's spin-offs or versions of. And obviously, as I said, Carhartt was a brand.
How many wallabies do you think he mended in his lifetime?
I don't know, man. Too many, infinite. But yeah, in terms of like collaborations, I'd love to work with. Ooh, that's a tough one again.
Barber?
Come on.
Barber?
I'm sure you've
British
thought about it.
Barber would be cool.
Paul Smith. They
Barber would be
collaborate with not with everyone, obviously, but a lot of good people.
I think what I find is I've managed to have a really great appreciation, like, you know, working with brands with heritage and how I then
carry more.
Yeah, yo.
there you go.
That'd be sick.
that have been around for a long time. But yeah, definitely that I've managed to find a way to bring my world, my energy, and my design into something which already has a very historical context. So I feel like brands which have that, I feel like,
Churches, Barber,
which sing the
Bell's
best.
Edward Green, Bell's.
Yeah,
Sure.
any of those I think would be an interesting intersect with.
Do you have a lot of people knocking on your door asking to partner up?
I mean, a lot of it, I'm a big believer in momentum. So one thing being, even some of my first collaborations was with Fred Perry.
Yeah.
So they're like doing the barrel bag and the tennis jacket and the N12 and the cricket jumper. These like very archetype pieces from their history.
Yeah.
And they're turning 75 next year. So it's like, these are brands which I've worked with already, but then also have a history. And I feel like that for me, I get a kick out of it because I'm adding into like a lineage of design and styles. The same with Carhartt. I kind of knew going in, okay, OG double knee,
Right.
OG chore jacket, definitely need to happen.
Starting there.
Because like that's,
Hold on
and this hat.
Yeah.
Essentially what I'm wearing today.
Yeah.
But
So-
but it doesn't look like any.
No.
It doesn't look like any other collaborator that's done like their version of like the two classics, the double knees or the trucker. So
it's quite tough when there's been some really great other designers who have worked
Sure.
with them. Sakai,
Yeah.
Angelo, obviously as well with Awake, and got a whole bunch of other people. that
Zoran
worked with.
Mamdani,
Zoran, exactly.
our mayor.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He wore Carhartt the other day.
custom
Yeah. Oh, is
embroidered
it?
Carhartt.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
He looked awesome, but then the internet just went turbo on the
nuts.
glazing.
They were
Okay.
slobbing on the knob, but
I
if
need
you're
to
going to
see
do it
that
with anyone, it's
collab.
him.
But yeah, I mean, I think a dream collaboration is normally a partner who has a heritage or a lineage which I can then connect with,
and a fucking bag.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and hopefully all the resources behind it.
And
Yeah.
2 tickets for a world tour.
Exactly.
You and the missus. How do you say?
Even that, I think also having a partner who truly believes not just in the product, but also everything that I want to create. And I think that's been the feedback about the collaborations of recent, is that it's felt fully backed.
Well,
which
they
I think-
never feel like straight cash grabs like a lot of collaborations do. It feels like they were like, okay, like Nicholas Daley-ify our shit.
Yeah.
Authentic.
And like give you the space and the bandwidth to like just make what you want.
Yeah.
Versus like, okay, like, yeah, do this, but in a Nicholas Daley color.
Yeah. And then that's when it can get restricting and not as enjoyable for sure. So yeah, normally the ones where it's full dexterity in my design ability is what always turns out to be the best.
How often are you saying no? You talk about this momentum. Like, are you turning
Yeah,
people away? And what's that conversation like?
There definitely has been a few where I've just like, I just can't find the point of where that
We'll
makes
revisit
sense.
this maybe later.
Yeah, or maybe give it some time, or if there's another version of it or something else. But yeah, normally, I'll always look into it if someone does want to propose. And at
Take
least
every meeting.
Yeah.
there you go. Opportunity is an important thing, and momentum. So yeah, I always at least, give as much time as I can to think about an opportunity.
Well, let's say, I don't know what, net 30, net 60, net 90, the collab bag hits. What do you like to spend your money on? Besides
Records.
your own brand, records? How big is your
Records.
collection?
Ooh.
Not as big as my wife's.
Really? Oh, well, it's professional DJ.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Between you guys.
What takes up more space in the home? Clothes or records?
when she was moving house, oh man, that
Like
was
moving into-
painful.
You're like, oh, fuck, I got
Just
it.
the amount of records I had to
Crates on
carry in
crates.
bags was that took the longest. Yeah,
Bro,
man.
I hope you weren't going to fall and twist your ankle again.
Jesus Christ.
Throw out
But
your back.
yeah, music, records, vintage. Although I've slowed down a little bit,
Is the
but
vintage for design references or for just your own?
mainly for design,
wardrobe?
but then also for myself. Like I love kind of working in different vintage styles within what I'm wearing. And it's kind of a bit of it's kind of been part of my kind of how I've learned within
Digging in the bins.
design. Yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously when I'm in Japan, especially,
Oh my
come
God,
on.
I can't imagine.
when you go to Koenji or Shimokitazawa or some of the dealers that I know in different parts of Tokyo and Osaka, there's always like endless amount of amazing stuff there. But then also in the UK and also here in America. So yeah, like vintage clothing, records.
What's the sound system like at the crib?
I mean, right now I've got a nice setup in the studio.
Okay.
We work with we've got a really nice kind of record audio technic setup. Some nice British made speakers, not too big, just enough
Right.
to kind of power it through. But yeah, I also picked up some noise cancelling headphones, which I'm always a bit skeptical of sometimes, but I picked those up literally before the world tour.
Okay,
Because I thought I need to sleep
Sure.
on these planes because I'm going to be flying around
Rockstar shit.
a lot. So
That
I
is-
put them in, noise control, switch that off, and then I'm out. So yeah, having good sound quality, whether it's in the studio or if I'm on
On the road.
fashion world tours
What have, you been,
or
what have you been playing in the
at
studio?
Montezuma on the
Yeah.
Cape sound system.
Totally.
What have you been playing in the studio, like while you're designing or doing in your creative process?
Well, this Rebel Riot collection was a lot of hardcore, like Bad Brains, a lot of like, I think the Turnstile, amazing they got Grammys.
Yeah. 2-time Grammy winners.
I actually went to their show at Alexander Palace. Crazy. It's
They're
like
great.
a supernova mosh pit.
Mhm.
It was mental. So, yeah, and obviously saw them play at Glastonbury. So yeah, like this new collection, Rebel Riot, I was kind of looking at this intersection between like dub and punk and reggae and obviously Rebel Riot. And maybe it is a reflection of the world we live in. Kind of need a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, not literally because people are protesting in so many different ways. I know it's subconscious, but I guess this like anti whatever like things.
Establishment.
Yeah, this feeling, what brought these people together from dub and reggae from the black community with, you know, white kids or black and brown or white kids converging together through like heavy bass
Right.
and anti-establishment ideology was like the unification. And that happened in the 70s. And I feel like, you know, we need to do it now more in 2026 with everything else happening globally, like united a front regardless of creed and color. And I think that's why I felt Rebel Riot, why I called it and why, you know, I love Bad Brains and I play their records a lot. Although sometimes in the studio, my design team and like my social comms are like,
Put on
maybe we
fake
could just
mink.
change it a little bit up for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, you know, do you think maybe we could soften it up
Some
for this
easy
one?
listening.
Yeah.
Do those
Some
kids,
Miles Davis.
Some Miles Davis, Blue and Green, just to like
do you
try
fuck,
and clear
do you
out.
fuck with the underground UK rap scene that's like blowing up with like Fake Mink, SD Kid,
I mean,
Fang?
yes, I'm aware of it. It's not
Okay.
something I follow. I guess my world has set more in the kind of alternative / jazz sphere of music genres, but I'm fully aware of like UK grime and drill
Oh,
has just been so prevalent here in the US, like with, you know, all the different artists you just mentioned. And yeah, and a lot of that is connected, I think, to the universal idea of, it basically comes down to sound system culture
Yeah.
and what came from Jamaica and how it affected
Bass.
New York and how it affected London and all the different genres of music that came from that, grime, drill,
Mhm.
you know, everything. So I feel like there's a commonality in it and I can see why it's now like even more prevalent in US music and culture.
Who's the biggest?
Like look at Drake, for example, you
I
know,
mean,
Top
come on,
Boy.
the ultimate
Like-
culture vulture.
Some guy at the
ultimate white
bodega
boy
was like,
trends.
"Yo, I've been watching Top Boy. Oh, it's so cool, man. Like, is it like that right now?" I'm like, "Bro, like, I haven't even finished the season, so." But Kano's a legend.
Yes.
Like, you know, like
That's a
Ashley
great American
Walters
accent.
doing his thing and acting. But yeah, it's funny. I'm at the bodega. I'm chatting about
Yeah.
Top Boy and Drake whilst I'm trying
Sure.
to just, you know,
Yeah,
just
Drake, the biggest UK
Yeah,
ambassador.
yeah. Real.
Who's the biggest? Like we mentioned, Leon Bridges and Doechii, I think, is also worn
Yeah,
your stuff. But like,
yeah.
who's the biggest UK musician or artist or person that's worn your shit? I guess Will Poulter.
Yeah. Will Poulter.
Is he British? He's British.
Yeah.
Will
he's
Poulter,
absolutely
most
British.
recently, yeah, he's got a pretty big international.
Any footies? Any
Ooh,
football
yeah.
players?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rio Ferdinand follows
Ooh,
me.
really?
I think so.
Damn, goated, bro.
Obviously, we worked on a few projects with Chelsea Football Club. So Reece James.
Is that
Gallagher.
is that who you support?
We worked with them on 2 occasions. Yeah.
So,
Who do you support?
I mean, my first team was Celtic.
Okay.
So Henrik Larsson was
Yeah.
a legend for me. Like what he did at Celtic and is like, you know, it was incredible. And then what he did at Manchester United and Barcelona.
Mhm.
So he's definitely a GOAT for me. But yeah, no, like some of the Chelsea team, definitely some of the like Ian Wright's worn some stuff.
Wow. Another legend,
Yeah,
dude.
right. Because obviously, Wright he likes his clothes and
Yeah.
he's done a lot of
I love
editorials and suits.
Mhm. Yeah.
So Wright he's worn some stuff.
So some big bold
Rio.
names.
I'm sure there's definitely a few of us which I'm not mentioning.
Do you care about that? Like, I mean, it's
I mean-
flattering, I'm sure, but like, does it really matter?
Like, I love watching football and the Premier League, and obviously it's a big part of British culture.
Yeah.
And also when I'm doing research, like with Fred Perry or with other brands, like that kind of, you know, terrace culture, you know, what you're wearing to the game, you know, the Parker, the M65 Parker, the kind of the Harrington jacket, you know, the Baker Boy, you know, the whole thing. It is part of a lot of British men's like
that's
lexicon.
fashion. That's fashion to British people or British men.
Or even
right?
then you
Well,
go
part
to
of the masculine-
Stoney and
part of the-
CP Company.
Yes.
You know, it's like, you can't really not look into that as another micro kind of
part of the
showcasing
conversation, yeah.
of like British culture, fashion and identity,
masculine
especially within menswear.
Mhm.
So, you know,
And the
I think
Caribbean
it's
too.
cool. Yeah, exactly.
Bob was nice.
Exactly.
This summer, is it coming home?
I hope so. I mean, I was gutted because obviously I'm so happy Scotland made it through.
Yeah.
We
Great
got
in amazing fashion
That
too.
McTominay. Oh,
That was
man.
your World Cup, honestly. Get
My
that
Scottish
win.
WhatsApp group was just going
yeah.
nuts. And I wanted to go so hard on social media. I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Maybe I shouldn't go to.
So who
Do you ever?
support?
Why don't you create like a personal account where you can like?
just go mad? Just
Yeah,
go
it's
hang on.
like the business is like, hey, here's news, here's like
Yeah.
the imagery, here's the
yeah.
the awards and editorial
Yeah.
and everything. But
And
then
here's
it's like,
me
here's me, like,
at
yo,
It's the guy.
Cheering on the Scotland team.
So you support if Scotland
Well,
played England?
Well, I was annoyed because Jamaica was obviously in the qualification but didn't qualify. So I thought, oh, is this the World Cup where Jamaica and Scotland would be in it? But
You have your
Scotland's
odds
in.
increased.
who would you root
Scotland's
for
in.
but if Jamaica did play Scotland?
Oh man, you can't do me that.
What- or
You can't
England.
do me that. A
Come on,
draw.
0-0.
Nil,
See,
nil.
and that's
Nil, nil.
and that's why soccer will never succeed in America.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's too tough. That's too tough. But
All right.
amazing, the Scottish national
Yeah,
team
shout the Scots,
is
man.
in
It's
the
crazy.
World Cup, and they will bring the noise. And I hope they bring it home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough
Very
group.
unlikely.
Brazil,
you know.
Morocco.
Extremely unlikely.
It's extremely unlikely, but
Yeah.
McTominay's a special
So
player.
you don't pull for England. You pull for Scotland.
For this World Cup, it's got to be Scotland.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. That's fair.
Has to be. It's in my blood. Although I am an Englishman by birth,
Right.
my heritage and lineage and having a strong
More teams to root for.
Scottish matriarchal figure in my life.
Increase your
Why don't
odds.
you
It's gotta
get a
be
fucking
Scotland.
FIFA collab going so you can get some tickets, bro? Don't even take any revenue. Just tickets.
Just the
Give me a
tickets.
box.
I mean, it is mad from what I've seen on the ticketing. But
Oh, it's
since
unaffordable.
again,
completely.
welcome to America.
yeah, I know
We'll
there's
price
like,
gouge the
I'm
shit
pretty
out of
sure
anything.
one of the England games is in New Jersey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Giant State, MetLife State.
Yeah, which is on a like respectable time,
The
both here
final,
and in England.
the final,
So-
the final match will be there. I
Oh,
think
right, that is the
tickets
final.
in New Jersey. And I think tickets are already the cheapest tickets right
Yeah.
now are like $25,000.
Yeah, dynamic
Wow.
pricing. as they
That's
say.
crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I had my first MSG experience last year.
Oh, how's that?
Oh,
Knicks?
Pistons, Knicks,
Hell yeah.
game 2 playoffs.
Feet on wood, sitting courtside.
I was all the way up there.
I was gonna say because whoever was sitting behind you with that Baker boy on.
Oh, dude, brutal.
Yeah, man. It was a surprise because my wife, Nabia, she's finally really got into the NBA in a big way. And she actually gave me Phil Jackson's book,
Oh,
Lord of the
yeah.
Rings,
Yeah.
which I've been reading. And real
Great
great
winner.
book.
Yeah.
And as a surprise for her birthday, I thought I'd
Oh, nice.
treat her to those.
You could have been a hooper. What are you like 6'4", 6'5"?
6'3", 6'3",
okay.
yeah.
With the hat, though,
With the hat,
with the
maybe a
Baker
little
boy,
bit
yeah.
more. But and it's amazing. Like we've had a lot of NBA players who want to wear the clothes or have been
Oh,
wearing
cool.
it,
That's
which
sick.
is cool. But
Tunnel fits.
yeah, my first MSG experience was last year, Pistons game 2. Although Knicks lost that game, but
Good
you
experience
know,
though.
It was
Yeah.
crazy. The
the world's
atmosphere-
most famous arena.
I know.
That's
I
what
know.
they say.
And it was great to do it, and my wife enjoyed it. It's probably the best birthday present I could have got her last
Well
year.
done.
What do you think?
So-
What's the better fan experience? Playoff Knicks or like a Champions League? I don't know if you've been to like a big Champions League match or something. You guys have better songs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess there's more historical songs. Maybe
When we were at Old Trafford, it was 75,000 people.
yeah,
Ronaldo at that time was on doing his second stint. He
Yeah.
scored in the 90th minute.
Yeah.
We saw Champs League. It was crazy.
yeah. I mean, all of that is part of it, and
Yeah.
the reason why I think it's hard not to like appreciate
It's all some
Yeah.
people have.
Football
Some
and
people in
soccer.
the UK, it's all they have. dude.
exactly.
Let's be
And I've
real.
got a lot of friends and a lot of other designers
say this,
who
though.
are really big into it. So.
Watching like 80,000 mostly white men sing along in unison, kind of scary.
Yeah.
Kind of fucking scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a micro reflection of society.
Also, no
soccer stadiums,
no
football
rhythm.
stadiums.
Nary a rhythm.
I mean, the Chelsea club when I was there, theirs is the Liquidator, which is a ska tune from the 50s.
Oh,
okay.
And then
Are they offbeat? Is that why they chose ska? 'Cause it's a little offbeat.
So it's interesting how Jamaican music and music from the Caribbean has influenced even soccer theme tunes of big Premier League teams. And I think that was something which I explored within it. I always find a way to to bridge these gaps in whatever
It's your job, man.
I'm looking into.
Bring back to money. Have you made a really dumb purchase recently?
Dumb purchase. Oh my. Probably. More than likely. But I just can't think of it at this minute. Probably that dumb I don't want to remember.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
Is there anything you refuse to spend a lot of money on? Like whether you're like, because the way you grew up, or just like, nah, I'm not, that's not a good use of my funds?
I don't know either, brother.
Really?
Like I refuse to like drop off I like do my own laundry. I don't want to drop it off.
Okay.
So like, that like
for
that
sure.
Where you're like,
yeah. I think,
you don't trust anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, try and keep yourself well maintained by yourself. I don't think you need
self-sufficiency.
I think so. Like for me, like,
and you're a cheap bastard, clearly.
Is there anything in the brand or the business that you're like, maybe at this point you should give up, but you still take on, whether that's because you love it or you're a cheap fucker?
I mean, sometimes there's certain accounts what we deal with, and I know they are very difficult maybe to work with in certain parts of the relationship, but I still work with them because they're good people.
Family.
And they've been working with them for a while.
Or supporters.
So I always invite them to the showrooms or the events, even though I know that it might not be as smooth sailing behind the scenes.
They owe money.
But I think loyalty is a very important part of everything we do and I do.
Loyal to the soil.
Yeah.
Is like
momentum, loyalty.
Yeah. As long as, I'm, in the business side of it, as long as we can agree on most of it and they're loyal and they're consistent and they do believe in what I'm trying to do, then I will return that back to them.
Well, we would ask one last question, which is asking you to return something back to us. Flipping it on you, Nicholas, do you have any constructive criticism you would like to give us?
Yeah. It's been an hour and a half. You feel good? Like, let us know what's on your mind, bro.
I think it's been great. I think what you guys do, I think the main thing which I think is amazing is the other independent brands you guys are brought on, to talk to them about how they work and how they process, as well as partnering with much bigger brands. Sure. And I think it's a good duality you have because, I'm trying to convey my message and your listeners and readerships are, very cued in terms of everything we're talking about. So I think it's great. You are always mixing it up between different projects and different designers at different times in their career and where they're at. And obviously I know we've wanted to like set something up and even coming through to the event in Paris, which I appreciate.
Of course, man.
So yeah, I think as long as, you guys continue to keep spotlighting on, the brethrens and people I respect and
it's
other
not
designers.
much, but it's
cool.
Honest work.
Yeah. He said it. He said it.
No, it's true. It's true. It's like, it's a very busy, noisy industry.
Well, so we only have on brands that we actually fuck with and like,
that we wear
and also find interesting and know are like doing good, unique things. We're not going to have,
but you could pay. So if you pay enough, I'll at least talk. But for the most part, when it's a natural organic thing, it's because we love and support the brand and the people.
And that's why I'm happy to be here today and share. And
Thank
share
you for
everything
stopping by,
you
Nicholas.
guys.
Where can you still haven't told us what club you support though? Is it Chelsea? It's Chelsea. Yeah.
They paid it most recently.
Where can the kids follow you? What would you like to plug? Yeah. What's your social media?
Yes. So nicholasdaily.net, Nicholas_Daily. No other social tag exists.
Yep.
But maybe it should after your advice.
I'm just saying.
Something to consider.
We're on the Twitter, Facebook, Nicholas Daley. There's loads of stuff on the gram and on the internet. And
anything big coming up rest of this month?
Heading into Japan, talking about Japan a lot. So I'm there for the Tokyo showroom
Spring
as well as some
dropping
events.
soon, Spring 26.
Spring 26 is launching, dropping. as we speak.
What's the vibe of that? Because I know right now, fall winter 25 is on sale.
It's on the sale.
I will be looking to see if you have this shirt my size.
This shirt is amazing and great.
But what's the spring 26 collection?
Spring 26 is rooted revival, and we also worked with a few collaboration partners on that. One of them being an American brand, Gimtman Brothers.
Yes, of course.
So we worked
Vintage.
on 3 Madras shirts with them on the Western fit.
Nice.
So first time making an American shirt.
Yeah, made in the USA.
Made in the USA.
Right here in America.
Exactly. So that's really cool. Be great to you guys to see that. And yeah, just the whole collection. Again, a continuation of a lot of the things which I've talked about. My culture, producing Irish tartan linens and
the shoes you mentioned, is that spring?
George Cox.
George Cox is for the fall.
Okay.
So Winter 26 Rebel Riot is what we're now showing in the showrooms, and that will deliver in August and September. And again, we've got some real interesting collaborations. One with Lavenham, a British quilt maker. They work with Comme des Garçons and Noah, New York. George Cox on the footwear, which obviously has a long history with music, you know, from Johnny Rotten, you know, to
the Creeper Corporals.
The Creeper, exactly.
Yeah.
And also with Gitman again. So some really interesting collabs within this new Rebel Riot collection and some new developments.
Fire.
So yeah, like this year, more things to come. Planning also for 2027.
Oh my God.
More interesting collabs hopefully to come to fruition. So yeah, man, I'm just happy that I reached year 10 and I've had a really great year last year, and I appreciate that you guys have also seen that, because I know you follow a lot of brands, and it's cool that people like yourself.
You got the juice, baby. You got the juice.
Got
the juice. It's loose.
And got the pod under your belt. Nicholas, thank you again for coming on to the only podcast that matters. Chef, take us out.